What's up guys, it's Chris here with another video. As you can see here, I'm in my small little studio with my Bambu P1S. I just got this, what was it, like a couple months ago during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. Ever since then, I've been printing things non-stop, and I've even been learning how to do 3D modeling on Plasticity, which is a newer 3D modeling software. And so I just wanted to show you some of the things that I have printed over the last couple months, maybe give you a little insight as a beginner if you just wanted to get started doing the same thing, because it's actually quite easy. Of course, the first thing I printed was a cute little benchy. You got to print a benchy. It was super easy just to jump into it on the iPhone app and check out the marketplace, see what all the different kinds of prints you could do. And you just tap a couple buttons and you're printing. Super cool, super easy to get started. Actually, a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. After the benchy, I was like, I want to print something a little more fun than that. So I printed one of these guys, like a little Gundam cat character, something a little bit more complicated, obviously. This took supports and it was in multiple pieces, so it was more complicated, but it came together really well. But once I printed this thing, I realized I need some tools, because this is going to take a little bit of removing the supports, which was difficult with just my fingers, and also to kind of refine it a little bit, because there were little pieces here and there that had to be filed off. So I went over to Harbor Freight, and I got just like the cheapest tools that I could find there. After that, I realized, I should probably start printing some organizers, because I was like, let's print something more practical. That, and I had a bunch of tools I had to put somewhere. So I was like, what do I do with all these tools? Just dump them all over the desk? So with the rest of the green and orange filament, I printed one of these bad boys, also on the marketplace on Bambu. Some genius designed and created this. It even has little spots for your plates, for your print plates. Super cool. And I realized after this, I was like, man, this is like great for little organizers. So I printed a bunch of organizers for my desk at home. And I just realized like how nice it is to have organizers on your desk that you put your pens and stuff instead of everything laying all over the desk and it's kind of a mess. Now it looks amazing. Now you might say, hey, Chris, you could just go to Amazon or Walmart and buy some organizers yourself for a few bucks. And you're right, but I think that these are a lot cheaper anyway. Organizers at the store might be $5-10, something like that. And each of these are probably just a few bucks. I mean, I did the calculations at one point. I don't remember what they are, but also you can print almost exactly what you want. There's a lot of varieties of different kinds of organizers online. You could download the 3D files and print, or you could customize it totally to your needs. You could make something in one of the 3D CAD softwares, which brings me to learning 3D CAD, because after printing these organizers, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to start creating my own custom creations and putting them out there in the world. So I started checking out 3D modeling software, and I checked out Tinkercad, and I was like, great, I'm gonna go through all of the tutorials and I'm gonna learn Tinkercad. Super easy software. It's just drag and drop shapes and stuff. And pretty soon I was like, okay, I kind of like done as much as I can do here. Let's move over to another software. I looked around and Plasticity stood out. It called itself CAD for artists. And I was like, I'm an artist. I am definitely an artist, okay? So I spent the money, however much, it was like $100 and something to buy it. Really cool. It's not like a subscription service. You can just straight up buy it. But I know that there's other softwares out there like, Fusion 360. There's a few other ones. So this is the one I picked. I don't know if it's a good buy or not. So I'm not really promoting it or anything. But I've learned it fairly quickly. I've been spending hours every week for the past several weeks learning Plasticity and designing things. So the first thing I wanted to design was some coasters. And you might be like, that's really boring. Why don't you decide something really cool like a Gundam? And really it's because coasters are like basic geometric shapes, right? Circles typically, or a square. And I was like, yeah, it'd be a lot easier to design a coaster than anything else. And I'm not that skilled. But also I wanted to go a little bit more fancy and do something that's like not your typical coaster. But the reason I picked coasters in particular is because I have a couple friends who are kind of coaster freaks, not in a bad way, but they're like all about coasters. So I was like, well, if I design and make some coasters, I could give it to them for gifts. So that's what I did. And after like a bunch of iterations, I was like, these are looking kind of clunky and kind of chunky, and I'm not really feeling it. So I redesigned them. And at this point, I've redesigned them so many times that I was like, man, I'm getting pretty good here at this basic 3D modeling with Plasticity. So then I thought, let me go a little bit more complicated and create something also useful, which was a dock for a laptop. Now, these computer docks are a little bit more specialized because when you put them in the dock, it's vertical and the computer's not open. But I figured, hey, this would be really easy because what I could do is take one of the coasters and just make it bigger and then make the dock look like one of the coasters to have like the same cohesive design. Is that what artists say, cohesive? Graphic designers, I'm sure they use that word a lot. But I thought it turned out pretty good. I used the coaster design, which was the triangle. I'm actually putting these up on Etsy because I'm like, let me see if I can make a return on this. After buying a $1,000 printer, I'm like, can I make that money back somehow? I mean, I don't just want this to be a hobby. That would be fun regardless. I kind of got it just as a hobby for the most part, but I was also like, let me see if I can make some kind of money out of this. So the next design was another laptop stand, but it was more of like a regular laptop stand that I think is a little bit more useful for more people. And I kind of kept with the whole, like, what would you call this? Mid-century modern Bauhaus design. Is that what fashion people call it? Bauhaus? Overall, I'm having a great time with this. I kind of want to create things that don't require any post-processing because I'm kind of, what would you call that? Lazy like that. But I would say learn some 3D modeling if you're going to get into this, because it's very satisfying and fun to create your own designs that you can then print out and be like, I created this, I designed this. But I would recommend learning something like Plasticity or these other 3D modeling softwares. Some of them are more expensive, but something like Plasticity, and there's a few others that are not so expensive that you can get into quite easily. Start with Tinkercad. It's free and it's very basic and easy to learn, easy to go through all the tutorials, and then you can move into something like Plasticity. Let me know what you think about my designs. Oh, and let me know what you think I should print next, because I'm interested in trying a bunch of different things. Thanks for joining me today, and make sure you go and 3D print something right now because it's fun.